Oh, well, little frog, you seem to like it in there for some reason. Don't know why.
I think it catches the water and
It
then.
must. But what about his other food? Like, he must eat other things. Well, okay, little frog, you're at your home.
For now, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for September the 26th, 2022, vlog number 282. And let's jump right into what I've been working on. And this is a class that I am taking. It's an online class through Ultimate Sewing with Ultimate Sewing's hostess with the mostest, Donna. And as you can see, this is an applique piece. And I'm very happy with this. This is the first block of the month called Color Splash. And yeah, I've got this all done. It's very colorful. The fabrics are all batiks, so doing raw edge applique is not a problem because no fraying. And I'm really proud of my stitching around each of those little pieces. So that's working out quite nicely. Okay, my other project is in pieces. This is another class. This is an in-person class with Donna again at Ultimate Sewing. In fact, I'm off to this class this morning for 10 o'clock. So after I get this up and running, I'm going to be continuing to sew little tiny triangles together. There are an awful lot of triangles in this. In fact, this picture when I took it doesn't show you over on the left-hand side the half hexagons that these triangles make, the number I've already made, and I still have a ton to go. But it's coming along, and I think it's going to be spectacular when it's finished. I'm hoping it's going to be spectacular when it's finished after all this work I've put into it. And I'll be sure to show you that as it progresses. And I'm making more Christmas things. These are Christmas stockings, obviously, and these are made in the hoop on my embroidery machine. I have a few more of them made. I want to get about 10 or so of them made. They don't take long to do, and they're pretty easy, but they're fully lined on the inside as well, and I added the Merry Christmas embroidery across the top. Very easy to do, very quick. I think these will make great Christmas gifts once I stuff them with things. I'm not sure what I'll stuff them with yet, but I'll stuff them with things. So yeah, I've been a busy boy, and I've been making, I'll come back to those later. So let's go back to me, and let's talk next about the YouTube channel of the week. Now, this one, if you are a foodie or you just enjoy eating food, and who doesn't, you'll probably like this YouTube channel. It's a history channel, but it's about food, and they call it Weird Food History. And they talk about defunct restaurants. They talk about foods that were popular during certain decades. They talk about, nostalgic food or what food brings up for some memories. They talk about a whole host of topics. I find it informative, educational, and also very entertaining. And each video is not very long, 10, 12 minutes or so, like that. So they're a nice little break from the usual kind of things you might watch on YouTube. But here's my review of that. This week's YouTube channel of the week is Weird. In fact, it's Weird History Food. And this one is really quite entertaining because it talks about all the different foods and things that come from our past or have been recalled or are just plain weird. So if we take here a look at their videos, at some of the things, a gooey history of Velveeta, every style of hot dog we could find across the US, candies that were pulled for being too dangerous, who was Mac tonight, McDonald's Moon Man, the real Willy Wonka, etc. If we take a look at their playlists, you see we have food commercials. A lot of those are from the past, things that bring up a nostalgia sort of thought or two to our brain. Candy, snacks, and junk food, McDonald's, famous foodies, pizza, diet fads, fast food, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to watch something that is very entertaining, may bring up memories, good or bad, from the past, or you just want plain mindless entertainment, then check out the Weird History Food channel. So you will find the link for that YouTube channel in the show notes below, and you're going to find a lot of links this week, and they might be a little confusing. So I'm going to just take a couple of minutes here to explain what's going on. First of all, I have decided to start something new as an experiment. I don't like to sew alone. I like to be around other people. And of course, I do craft and chat, and I do pop-up sew days. And of course, I have the retreat, more about that, coming up in a month's time. And just let me clear my throat. Sorry about that. It's early morning here. I've still got a lot of frogs in my throat. Ooh, speaking of frogs, coming to that too. Anyways, lots of teasers here. So, I have decided to try something so I don't sew alone. I have created a reoccurring Zoom link. What that means is there's no time element on it and there is no date element on it. It is just always there. So when I turn it on at my end, you can join me while I'm sewing and we can chat and work on things together. Sort of like an improv pop-up sew day, but you'll never know when I'll be there or not there. So the thing is, you will have this link and I will publish it in all of my videos at the very top of the resource guide in the show notes. And I have sent this link out too to anybody that's on my pop-up sew and craft and chat mailing lists. The idea here is, let's say you're working away on something and you're feeling a little lonely, you'd like a little company. If you click on that link, you'll know whether or not I'm here doing the same thing as you. Sewing by myself. So if you click on that and I see it come up, as you know, it usually works in Zoom, you'll go into a waiting room, I'll let you in. And, you know, we won't be alone anymore. So I don't know how well this is going to work. Now, there is no way that I can give you, that I know of anyways, that I can give you advance warning. You know, a light goes off on your computer and says, hey, the idiot quilter Steve's online, yay, or something like that. You just have to try it. I will let you in within a minute of when you tap on it. If after a minute nothing happens, then you know I'm not there. Now, sometimes this might be just in the morning, might be just in the afternoon. It could be half a day, it could be a whole day. It could be just for a couple of hours, whatever, because I'll work it into my schedule. But there are many days when I don't really have anything planned and I'm just sitting at my sewing machine from the crack of dawn until, you know, dinner time in the night or so. And I'd appreciate the company. In some cases, I might have to be away from the computer while we are connected, and that's okay. Like maybe I'm getting some lunch or something like that. I'll just leave it on. And you and whoever else is on there can carry on doing whatever you want to do. I don't know how this is going to work because it isn't really a regularly scheduled kind of thing. It's just when I'm available. So we'll see how this works out. So if you got a day or a time period during the week or something when, you know, you're working away and you'd like a little company, click on the link and maybe I'll be there to keep you company and you'll keep me company as well. We'll see. It's an experiment. Also, you're going to find the link for Craft and Chat. Now, Craft and Chat is not this week, but next week we're into October and we hit the first Wednesday of the month, and that's always Craft and Chat. And there's a link for that as well. That one starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and runs until about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you that might be new to my channel, Craft and Chat is simply where we get together and work on whatever creative project we want to work on. Doesn't have to be quilting related, doesn't have to be sewing, it could be anything you'd like. Or maybe you just want to socialize with a few people for a couple of hours or whatever. It's come and go as you please. And so the link is there in the show notes. And those of you that are on my mailing list for Craft and Chat, you will get your own personal invitation to Craft and Chat later this week, probably about Thursday or Friday. I'll send that out. And there is a link for the Idiot Quilter Fall Retreat, the retreat announcement. You've probably already seen it. I have a short 12-minute video talking all about the retreat here on my YouTube channel. But right below that link, you'll find a link to Google Drive, link to invitation, it says. So I have put all that information into a document. Again, those of you that have been on my retreat mailing list have already received this. But if you haven't received it or you're not on the mailing list, then if you click on that link, you can get a PDF copy for yourself with all the details in there. More about the retreat in a moment. And of course, there's a link for this week's Stephen and Walter Live, which was, wow, we went a little over our time. We usually try to keep it into 90 minutes. I think we went for a little over 100, a couple of 10 minutes extra or so, but there was just so much to talk about. So if you weren't there, the rebroadcast is up for you. And there is a link to last week's So Chatty, which was taken up by our interview and store tour at Kawartha Quilting. And I've had a lot of favorable comments about that, a lot of favorable comments about the store itself, which I think will make Zach and his parents very, very happy. But it's a really great store. And you know, I am not sponsored by anybody. And if I tell you something is good, it means that I like it, then, well, you can trust me on that, because I would not point out anything to you that I didn't think was worth investing in or going to. And Kawartha Quilting is definitely worth the trip. And if you can't go there because you live on the other side of Canada, check out their website, because it's very good too. Okay. So that takes me to looking out my window this morning. And there it is. The sun is just coming up. I took this at 6:48, as you can see. I don't know why it's not filling the whole screen here when I took the picture. It may be because there was a new update for the iPhone, and this comes from some old technology. I have a D-Link camera that looks out my front window. I've had it for years. And in fact, I don't even think the company even supports it anymore. And so maybe there's something within the program that makes the window a little smaller, so it doesn't really fill my screen. But anyways, there you can see what's coming up. It's looking a little bit cloudy. There's an 80% chance of rain according to the weather stats. And right now it's about 11 degrees C with a high of about 16 degrees C, which means we're into fall. In fact, you know we're into fall because I had to do something this morning that I didn't want to do. I had to put on pants. What I mean by that, get your little minds out of the gutter. What I meant by that was I had to put on long pants. I put on my jeans. I've been living in my shorts since the weather got nice enough to do that, so sometime late May. And I love wearing my shorts and not having to wear socks and shoes. I love my sandals. I love my bare feet. And yeah, now I have to confine myself. But all is not lost, because according to the forecast for the next month, they're saying we're supposed to have a little warmer than usual fall. And supposedly, in another few days, the temperature's supposed to go up, I think. So wearing my jeans today, maybe just today, maybe tomorrow I can get back into my shorts. Because once I can't wear the shorts and the sandals anymore, I know winter's on its way. And that is sad. Very sad. Okay, so that takes me to new products. Well, I have nothing new to really show you. I haven't bought anything. I've been holding back. Although I had an idea that I want a new light fixture. You can see over here, here. That's it. Up there on the ceiling, turned off. We've had that light fixture since I think we first moved into this house. We replaced the light fixtures, as people do. Because, you know, when you move into a new house, there's never light fixtures you like. And that corner is a little dark, even when that light's on. So I want to get something that has two adjustable heads on it, so I can sort of focus one on the quilts on the wall and one on over top of the desk that sits over there as well. Because even though I have a desk lamp sitting there, it's not very bright. And I don't know, with my eyesight, I need bright light. Please, bright light, lots of it. I can't see. So I looked on Amazon, and I really didn't like their selection. And Walter says, nah, we should really just go, you know, to Home Depot or Lowe's or someplace like that and take a look at the fixtures there because, you know, you got to make sure it fits for one thing. And looking at a picture of it on Amazon, it's maybe not as good. So he's right. So maybe sometime this week we'll do that. We'll get over to Home Depot or Lowe's and see what they have. And I don't spend a lot of money on this, but I also don't want it to look like crap. Ideally, I'd like something that is somewhat stylish, but is also functional. Okay, so we'll see. But what did I do? Well, I did order uh, a little toy. Now I'm moving into 3D printing. I bought a 3D pen. Now you've probably seen these. They look like a glue gun kind of a thing. And you put filament in those, squeeze the trigger, and you can make beautiful 3D models with this. Well, no, you can't. But that's how they show it. They always show it as if, yes, you can make these 3D models. Let me just see if I can show you a picture of the one that I bought. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, as you can see. So you look at the picture. They're showing you that you can make this cute little 3D creature here using just this pen. You cannot. The best you can do is a two-dimensional, flat, almost like you're drawing with it kind of thing, image. That's all you can do with it. This thing was a piece of cheap crap. Okay. Now, I knew it was going to be a piece of cheap crap because look at the price, $16.99. Oh, it's got all these features and everything. All of these are described in fairly well. Actually, the English in this, the description was not bad. Let me see. Okay, it was, you know, it sounded good, but I wasn't buying it to create anything with it. I was buying it to use it as a way for gluing together pieces of my models that maybe I broke off, like my raven's feet last week, or something like that. Now I have a glue gun. I use that, but the glue gun isn't that great for gluing PLA, that's the plastic, together. I found there are PLA glues that people use, and they're as expensive as hell, 50 bucks or more for a small amount. You probably could use an epoxy, but I don't want to get into mixing the two parts together because that stuff is smelly and it would be a waste because I only need little dabs of it. I've tried super glue because apparently Gorilla super glue is supposed to work. Well, I have some of that. It doesn't work all that well. So I got thinking, well, why not use melted PLA, the same filament that my objects are made from, and use that, and this might work for it. No, it did not work. Didn't work right out of the box. I plugged it in. At first, it wasn't heating up properly. I plugged it into a different outlet, and for some reason, it started to heat up. I could watch the numbers going up. But as soon as I tried to get filament in it, it just wouldn't take the filament. You're supposed to put it into the top. You see the little piece hanging out right up here, and you see that person's thumb is on a button. You're supposed to press that. That sucks the filament into it and pushes it out on the other end of the device. Yeah, nope, didn't matter what I tried, it wouldn't happen. Now it came with some filament. Oh, God, cheapest stuff in the world. I tried some of my own filament because it was supposed to fit what's the size of 1.75 millimeters, which is what my filament is. No, it would go just a fraction of the way into the little hole that's up at the top of this, and that was it. You couldn't, no matter what you tried. And then I also noticed that as soon as I pushed that button, the numbers, the heating control just dropped down to 0 and started to go back up again. So obviously this thing was not working right. So I sent it back to Amazon. And I have to tell you, sending things back to Amazon is really easy. You click into where you ask for a refund. It takes you to a spot where you print out a perlator. For me, it was a perlator label. Box the item back up, put the label on the outside of it, drop it off at your local Perlator, and we have one not too far away from us, service, and away it went. I did that. I did it the same day that I got it, and I got the refund the same day. So that was pretty good. Now, although it was only $16.99 with tax $19, what was I going to do with it? Something that didn't work. And I could buy a more expensive one. They go up to about $80 to $100, some of them. But what I've been reading on reviews, they're all pretty much the same. It just doesn't really work. They're a toy. Well, yeah, let's give a child a hot toy. Okay, a toy that could burn them. Yeah, sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? So, no, I've given up on that idea. I can make my glue gun work. Now, last week I was talking about those glue sticks you make out of PLA on your printer. Yeah, they don't work. Well, mainly because my hot glue gun probably isn't hot enough to melt them, and they don't seem to fit properly. I even adjusted the size. I could go out and, attempt to buy another glue gun. I've got a fairly good glue gun now, but I don't want to spend the money on something like that. So I'll just continue hunting for glues that may work and that I can afford with that. So that was the one thing I bought that didn't work out. What else have I been working on? Well, I've been doing some, let me just find it here, some more Halloween decor. And I'll just put this up. And these are cute. Do I need more Halloween decor? No, I don't. Why did I make it, then you will say? Well, because I could. So, this bat, now you know my history with bats, right? So it's kind of ironic that I made a bat. But I did. This little guy turned out pretty good. And I could hang him from a string or something like that. I don't know if I'll make another one or not. One's probably enough. I have found usually one bat is enough. And if you don't know what I'm referencing to, go back some videos ago. We get bats in the house. And the kitty with the Halloween hat. Yes, he's green. Why green? Why not? I was too lazy to change out the filament. And actually, I kind of like him in that green color. I mean, it's Halloween. That color goes with purple really well. So I made those two things. They're just fun. That's it. No more Halloween stuff. I've got a ton of Halloween stuff now. Okay. So that's what I've been up to on the 3D corner. And I noticed I skipped something very important. And it's what's pissing me off. And I've got here as my little subtext to this, the shit from China on Amazon. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute or two, shall we? Okay. I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, and I'm sure a lot of people do. And ever since COVID hit and the pandemic and everything, I think, Amazon has done a wonderful business with everything. And 9 times out of 10, I'm fairly happy with what I get on Amazon. But just like that 3D pen that I was talking about, buyer beware. Because look at where it's coming from. A lot of stuff comes from China. Right there, red flag. Now, that doesn't mean everything that comes from China is crap. But a lot of it is. And we know that, don't we? We've all experienced the crap from China in one form or another. But what pisses me off is that Amazon doesn't really check the quality of the products they are selling. Now, okay, they're really a distribution center. That's what they function as. They don't make the products. And I'll say one thing for Amazon. If they get enough complaints about a product or something's being returned on a regular basis, they remove the seller from Amazon, which is a good thing. So, if you bought anything from Amazon, sometimes you'll get an email saying they'd like you to review the product. I do that sometimes. I don't do it all the time. But, it's really worth reviewing those things that you've had bad luck with. And I definitely wrote a review about this 3D pen. But, it's just annoying that you don't know what to buy on there. You don't know if you're getting quality or not. You could be spending, well, first of all, price might be an indicator, but not always. I mean, like that 3D print, it was cheap. It was the cheapest one, actually, that they had. I knew it was going to be a hunk of junk when I bought it, but I bought it anyways. Just on the off chance it actually did work, because I've had some things that do. So, what am I telling you here? Well, buyer beware, I guess. But just because it comes from Amazon, uh, doesn't mean it's any better than from any other distributor of products. Read the descriptions carefully. But better yet, go to the bottom of the page, and you will have to scroll quite a while and find the reviews and look at them. Now, many times a product will have a 4 out of 5 rating. Read the reviews first, because that is based on the average that people have rated it from. And if there's only been a couple of people rated it, and one rated it at a 5 and one rated it at a 1, well, your average is going to be 3, right? In the middle. So, the number of reviews, and look at both the positive ones. There are fake reviews. You have to be careful of that. Now, Amazon has gotten better at knocking out the fake ones, but they still get in. Also, some people have unrealistic expectations for certain products, and they're disappointed when their expectations aren't met, and they will write a negative review. So you have to take the reviews with a grain of salt, but read more than one. Read through them, scan through them, and get a sense of what the problems might be with the product, if there are problems with it. Because the same problem will appear in multiple reviews, and that will be an indicator that maybe you shouldn't buy that. The one saving grace is there doesn't seem to be any real problem with returning something to Amazon, as I already explained a few moments ago. So it just annoys me, though, that a big company like Amazon doesn't have something in place where they can check out the reliability of the vendor they're dealing with and the quality of the product they are selling. I know that may be a logistical nightmare to do something like that, but nevertheless, Amazon is one of the richest companies in the world, and they're very efficient, and I think they could do something. I really do. So buyer beware. Okay, so that takes me to blasts from the past trips, and this is part 2 of the Pinnacles, and you're going to love this video clip because this was exciting. We were on sand dunes and we were riding them. Yes, this was an incredible day. So here's that video.
Something we have not seen much on this trip is rain. Here in the distance, there's a shower. You can see the clouds. You can see the rain falling in the distance. And this is where we're having lunch, Cervantes, Lobster Shack. It's a lobster, crayfish, fish sort of plant, I guess. And they ship all over the world. And we're about to do a little tour first, and then we have lunch.
So we've had our tour of what they do with the lobsters, and now we're having lobsters. And we're just waiting for them to prepare them in the kitchen.
And we're having a juice box. That's right. This is not licensed.
Guess not.
And here's the lobster lunch with chips and lobster cakes. After eating his lobster. And here's where we just had lunch. And now, this is the Indian Ocean. It's full of sand though. And this is the bus that we're on, and you can see that it's got oversized tires and it's jacked up because this is going to take us across the sand dunes in a bit. Okay, so we're here at what is called the Pinnacles, which are these calcified trees from who knows when, and there's a lot of flies around here.
Yeah,
They're driving me nuts.
certainly. Actually, the sun-tan tantalus says like they're.
Like they like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we see. So these are the pentacles. They're not really sure how they've been formed. They think maybe it's a mixture of what they say, calcium and tree trunks that formed thousands and thousands upon thousands of years ago.
Sorry.
Looks like a set off of a movie, science fiction movie.
Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe it was. We think that this is actually a site where aliens land, and what all of these are actually alien poop.
No, maybe it's a movie set, some Mars thing.
Oh, yes, that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Recall, Total Recall. These stupid flies that are out here, though, are driving me mental. Tentacle flies, I guess. And I've lost Walter. Where's Walter? Oh, there's Walter.
Videotaping, Jen.
Oh, are you? Oh, it's dueling videotapes. In amongst these, as you move around, there might be a monster that will jump out. Oh my god! A horrible monster! Look at geez, the backside's horrible. I bet the front's even worse. It's scary. It's turning around. Run for the hills. It's a monster. No lizards. Here it is.
No, it looks like there's two lines facing each other.
Oh. Your imagination will do a lot of things. That one looks like an elephant. Well, they are very interesting. It is very hot out here, I can tell you that.
Sometimes you come here, you can see the sand picking up off the top of that, and it's moving the sand from west to east in high winds. So today it's going to be really nice on the sand because it's not as windy. I was up here yesterday it was, the day before, and it was very, very windy. I don't come up here every day. It's just that the last few days we've had so many people with Chinese New Year and those coaches that we've had 3 or 4 coaches coming up here every day. Go over today are open to the public. As I mentioned earlier this morning, we're one of the very few commercial operators that actually are allowed on the sand here. They've got one area that is dedicated to sandboarding, and then the rest of the sand dunes are open to 4-wheel driving. Sunday today, there could be the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. There's a lot of people here normally. Come up here for the day.
So they're letting out the air out of some of the air out of the tires on the 4-wheel drive bus because we're about to drive over some sand dunes. In the meantime, we have stopped here for a comfort break. And so you can see what the sands look like.
And I'm sorry, I got my video clips mixed up. It's in the next video clip of that trip where I show you riding the sand dunes. So you're just going to have to wait for another week. Sorry about that. So that takes me to events in the past week. Well, I already talked about my quilting classes. Last week I had just the one. That one's on Mondays and it's all day, what I'm going to today. That was the Color Splash. And the Block of the Month ones, well, I won't have those until next month again. So, and those are Zoom classes. I had to go to the eye doctor. Well, I go every year for an eye checkup, right? And they love to put drops in my eyes. You know, they always do. So, you know, that it dilates your pupils or something like that so they can like see your brain with their little bright lights and things like that. And I have a new ophthalmologist. I don't know if it's an ophthalmologist. I think they're optometrists. I don't think these ones that I go to can operate, and that's an ophthalmologist. But whatever. A new one, because the place that I go to seems to have a fairly regular turnaround of people that look at my eyes. I had one for the last few years there. She was a steady, but I think she's raising a family now, so she's, you know, popping out a child all the time and is not there. So there's a new guy, which was nice. It was a man this time. Usually I have ladies, and that's fine too. And he was very efficient, seemed to be very knowledgeable. I read all the notes about my eyes because they do check me for any signs of glaucoma because my mother had glaucoma as well. So it is supposedly a hereditary kind of thing. But good news is my eyes are very healthy, no problem, no real change in them since the last time I was there. That was good news. But of course, back to the eye drops. I did say to the this guy, I don't know what his name is. It's something I can't pronounce. It always is. I said, you did read the notes and you saw that the numbing drops that they used to put in my eyes, I don't know why they put in numbing drops before they put in the main ones. The main ones do sting a little bit, but just for a second. Just for a second. Nothing major. So, you know, the numbing drops, I guess, get over that. Well, my eyes go like raccoons. In fact, I've still got traces of them under here. The bags, huge bags, but this has gone down considerably to what they were after I came out of the eye checkup. And he says, yep, he read that, no problem. Because we assumed, the other optometrist and I, that I was having an allergic reaction to the numbing drops. The first time that happened to me, oh my God, I had about 3-4 days where my eyes were just out, like, and they were itchy and a little bit sore in the corners and that. So they told me to take an antihistamine kind of a thing and put a cold cloth over my eyes. And yeah, 3 days later, 4 days later, the swelling went down. Well, it's not just the numbing drops, it's these other drops. And I don't get it. I mean, I've been going to an eye doctor for, well, since I was 11 years old, because that's when I first got glasses. Okay? And they have always put the drops in my eyes. But until about 6 years ago or something, I never had a reaction of any sort. Now it seems that I do. And it's not the numbing drops. So he put in the regular drops in my eyes. Everything's fine. Checked it out. About 3 hours later, my eyes got itchy, and yep, raccoon eyes again. Now, it's not as bad as it has been in the past, but it was still there. And so over the weekend, and you want to rub your eyes because they're itchy as well because of this reaction, and you don't do that, it makes it worse. But they're fine now. I still feel a touch tender, but the bags, I'm not sure these are my usual bags or whatever, have been going away. So, I mean, that's the price you pay for having healthy eye checkup, I guess. So that was fun. And something else that I am doing, I am baiting politicians. Well, sort of yes and sort of no. What I mean by that is we're about to go into a municipal election on 24th of October. We vote for city councilors. Well, first of all, the turnout to that kind of vote is, like less than 30%, and that's a good amount. People just don't care about local politics. And the councilors really, the ones who want to get elected into that, especially the ones that are already there and trying to get reelected, they know that. And they're betting on it because they don't put a great deal of effort into their campaigns. And to be honest, I didn't even know who it was that was running in my area, in my ward. We're all divided into these areas. We're in Ward 2 of my city. So I thought I should do a little research. So there are 6 people running. I know none of them. And what started this all was that a fireman, a cute fireman, came to my door last week. And he was campaigning for one of the candidates. And I didn't know who this candidate was. He handed me a brochure and everything. And there was a website. So I went to his website. The website didn't tell me much of anything. In fact, it had 2 little buttons on it. One to donate money to his campaign and the other one to volunteer for his campaign. So this got me thinking, well, who am I going to vote for? Because there are 6 people running. I have to vote for one. And I know nothing about any of them. So I decided to find out about them. Now, most of them, a couple of them have a website that's fairly detailed, but the other ones, nothing much on there. So I wrote an email. They had their email addresses listed, and I wrote to each one. And what I did was I wrote a question about crime. In the area that I'm living in, I live in what used to be the far north of my city. But in the last 5-6 years, they have been building that area up. And there is a university there as well. And that has attracted a lot of development in the area. And a lot of people from outside of the area are moving in there, and they're coming from Toronto, from Scarborough. And they're not all coming from the best areas out there. And they have problems there, and they're bringing their problems out here. And it's getting kind of bad. And it's criminal activity. And guns are involved. We're not used to that where I live. On any given night, we will hear something that sounds like a car backfiring or fireworks. Well, is it fireworks? First of all, why would anybody be shooting up fireworks at this point, this time of the year? And yes, cars do backfire, but these sound more like a pop, 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 like a gun. And there have been some arrests made of people who have been in part of armed, violent crime. So I want to know, as a counselor, if one of these candidates, if I voted for one of these candidates and they got in, what are they going to do about it? Well, I haven't had them all reply to me yet. I've had so far 3 out of 6 write back to me. And based on their responses, I am rating them. I've created a scale looking at various elements: sincerity, how they contacted me, the tone, whether or not they have a definite plan or whether they're just giving me generic answers to things. And that's how I'm going to do. Whoever gets the highest score wins. That's who I'll vote for. In the meantime, I'm also taking their responses and my responses back to them. This is something I don't think they expected. They make an offhand kind of generic comment to my question, but then I respond to that comment. And that gets them thinking a little bit. Now, I've had nasty, I've had ignorant, and I've had one that actually took the time to really sit down and tell me what their platform and ideas are. Of course, that person is the one that I'm leaning towards to vote for. But they don't expect you to make a response to their response. They think they can just push you under the rug. No, you can't push me under the rug. Not going there. No, it is my right to know what they stand for so I can make an educated decision as to who I'm going to vote for. And that's what I'm doing. I am taking their responses, unedited, just as they are, and I'm putting them on my Facebook page for other people in my area to read. And I include my responses to them as well. I'm not doing any altering. It's exactly what was sent to me, so other people can make up their own minds. And at the end of this process, I will put up my rating scale for each of these candidates. And again, I'm not going to make a comment about it or anything. I'm just going to put it there. That is my opinion on the rating scale, and people can make their own decision. But I think at least that gives people an idea of who we're voting for if they see what I'm putting up there. Of course, the same thing. People just don't care. And these counselors just warm a seat, possibly get a free rented car out of it all, and they get a salary. It's not a huge salary, but they still get a salary. And they're supposed to be working for us. Yeah. So anyways, it's a little thing, but I'm finding this experiment, if you wish, very informative, very informative. So I'll keep you abreast of that as time goes on. Okay, and we have a pet. Yes, we have a pet. And I'm going to insert a little video clip of our pet for you right here. We call our pet Freddy.
Well, there's our Freddy, right? Said Fred. We just sort of knocked him out of his little cover because we didn't think he was there, but he was hanging on somewhere. So I don't know what little Fred's going to do now, what we're going to do with him. But there he is.
So yes, that was Freddy the tree frog. And Freddy seems to like us because Walter first heard this noise. We talked about this on Stephen Walter Live, so I'll make this short. We kept hearing this strange noise out on our deck. And Walter located it under the barbecue. And when he took the cover off the barbecue, out jumped or hopped this little frog, little tree frog. He was living under there, and he was making this noise. Like, it was a weird noise and loud. But Walter did some research on the internet, as he does, and discovered it was this tree frog. So we just left him. But then we were using the barbecue at one point in time, but he didn't seem to be around. And Walter threw the cover into one of the lawn chairs sitting on the deck. And there it sat, because that happens at times. It usually takes Walter a few days to put the cover back on. And so then we heard the noise again after a few days. So there he was. He was living under the barbecue cover on the lawn chair in there. So we kind of captured him, got him in a box, and took him out to the garden at the front of the house to let him go. Because I was thinking, well, he's stuck up here 12 feet in the air on their deck, because our deck isn't on level ground. It's a story up. And, you know, he must be getting hungry because he's underneath the barbecue cover. What the heck is he eating or whatever? So we thought, well, maybe he can't get down. How did he get up there in the first place? We don't know. Well, he is a tree frog and he has very sticky toes. And that's apparent. When we tried to get him out of the box, he was hanging on the box. It was kind of cute, really. But there he was. So we gently removed him from the box and put him in the garden. And we thought we were done with it and that he'd go off on his merry little way and find a tree and climb it. No. 2 days later, he was back. He got all the way around to the backyard from the front of the house, climbed up the posts, the supporting posts to the deck, and got back up in the chair and under his barbecue cover. He wants to live there. Well, okay, he's not doing any harm, but I'm thinking, what's going to happen when the weather gets colder? Now, they are cold-blooded animals because they are amphibians, and they do kind of hibernate or something in the winter. You know, they drop their whole metabolism down, so they kind of go dormant. But we do have to put that barbecue cover back on the barbecue very soon. So anyways, we have Freddy the Frog. There he is. I said to Walter, let's get a little leash and we can take him for little hops, little walk hops or something like that. Yeah, and that's not happening. But anyways. Okay, so what's coming up? Okay, retreat. Everything is out there about the retreat. The response has been great. I'm almost up to 50 people already who have registered for it. And if you are thinking about coming but haven't made up your mind yet, make it up quick, because the spots seem to be filling up rapidly. I will establish a waiting list, as I said in the video about that and in the information that I sent out. And it's all explained there how that works. But you snooze, you lose. Okay, simple as that. And it's going to be great. I've got all my speakers lined up and everything. There will be an agenda for the day as well. That will come out to those of you that have registered, because I have your email addresses, and I will send all that information out along with updates and things like that. And I'll do updates on here too until the day of, and that's October the 22nd. And the Icebreaker Cocktail Party is October the 21st, 7 p.m. The retreat starts at 8 a.m., but you can come and go as you please. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's all in the details in there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how you couldn't. I have a video. I have links in the show notes for it all. It's there, you know. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. That's not a problem, and I will answer them for you. Okay, I've talked about the on-demand get-togethers with the experiment I'm testing out for that. So yeah, and I'm going to be on a virtual retreat this weekend through the Quilter's Way, which is the online group I belong to and have been for a while. Kim Jamison Hurst has this. She's the owner of the Quilter's Way, the operator of it. And she has one of these usually twice a year. So this is called Energize 6.0, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that, and that's this weekend coming up. So I'm busy with that. So no, I will not be for sure online this weekend for an on-demand session. Okay, so that's it for now. Tomorrow I will have the Idiot Quilter up, and then So Chatty. I don't know what we're going to So Chatty about this week, but that'll be Friday. And then on Sunday, Stephen and Walter Live. So lots of things coming up. And do check out the show notes for pertinent details about things as well. Okay, I hope you have a really great week. I'm about ready to go off to my class today. Hopefully I can get all those bloody triangles sewn together. Yeah, keep telling myself it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Okay, you have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.